Listening. Why are you here listening to me? Have you ever considered why you listen to people at all? And what does listening to somebody mean? All of you here are sitting in front of one who is speaking. Are you listening to hear something that will confirm, tally with your own thoughts, or are you listening to find out? Do you see the difference? Listening to find out has quite a different significance from listening merely to hear that which will confirm what you think. If you are here merely to have confirmation, to be encouraged in your own thinking, then your listening has very little meaning. But if you are listening to find out, then your mind is free, not committed to anything. It is very acute, sharp, alive, inquiring, curious, and therefore capable of discovery. So, is it not very important to consider why you listen and what you are listening to? Have you ever sat very silently, not with your attention fixed on anything, not making an effort to concentrate, but with the mind very quiet, really still? Then you hear everything, don't you? You hear the far off noises as well as those that are nearer and those that are very close by, the immediate sounds, which means really that you are listening to everything. Your mind is not confined to one narrow little channel. If you can listen in this way, listen with ease, without strain, you will find an extraordinary change taking place within you. A change which comes without your volition, without your asking, and in that change, there is great beauty and depth of insight. Just try it sometime. Try it now. As you are listening to me, listen not only to me but to everything about you. Listen to all those bells, the bells of the cows and the temples. Listen to the distant train, the carts on the road. And if you then come nearer still and listen to me also, you will find there is a great depth to listening. But to do this, you must have a very quiet mind. If you really want to listen, your mind is naturally quiet, is it not? You are not then distracted by something happening next to you. Your mind is quiet because you are deeply listening to everything. If you can listen in this way, with ease, with certain felicity, you will find an astonishing transformation taking place in your heart, in your mind, a transformation which you have not thought of or in any way produced. Thought is a very strange thing, is it not? Do you know what thought is? Thought or thinking for most people is something put together by the mind, and they battle over their thoughts. But if you can really listen to everything, to the lapping of the water on the bank of a river, to the song of the birds, to the crying of a child, to your mother scolding you, to a friend bullying you, to your wife or your husband nagging you, then you will find that you go beyond the words, beyond the mere verbal expressions which so tear one's being. And it is very important to go beyond the mere verbal expressions because, after all, what is it that we all want? Whether we are young or old, whether we are inexperienced or full of fears, we all want to be happy, don't we? As students, we want to be happy in playing our games, in studying, in doing all the little things we like to do. As we grow older, we seek happiness in possessions, in money, in having a nice house, a sympathetic wife or husband, a good job. When these things no longer satisfy us, we move on to something else. We say, I must be detached, and then I shall be happy. So you begin to practice detachment. We leave our family, give up our property, and retire from the world. Or we join some religious society thinking that we shall be happy by getting together and talking about brotherhood, by following a leader, a guru, a master, and an ideal, by believing in what is essentially a self deception, an illusion, a superstition. Do you understand what I am talking about? When you comb your hair, when you put on clean clothes and make yourself look nice, that is all part of your desire to be happy, is it not? When you pass your examinations and add a few letters of the alphabet after your name, when you get a job, acquire a house and other property, when you marry and have children, when you join some religious society whose leaders claim they have messages from unseen masters, behind it all there is this extraordinary urge, this compulsion to find happiness. But you see, happiness does not come so easily because happiness is in none of these things. You may have pleasure, you may find a new satisfaction, but sooner or later it becomes wearisome. Because there is no lasting happiness in things we know. The kiss is followed by the tear, laughter by misery and desolation. Everything withers, decays. So while you are young, you must begin to find out what is this strange thing called happiness. That is an essential part of education. Happiness does not come when you are striving for it, and that is the greatest secret, though it is very easily said. I can put it in a few simple words. But by merely listening to me and repeating what you have heard, you are not going to be happy. Happiness is strange. It comes when you are not seeking it, when you are not making an effort to be happy. Then unexpectedly, mysteriously, happiness is there, born of purity, of a loveliness of being. But that requires a great deal of understanding, not joining an organization or trying to become somebody. Truth is not something to be achieved. Truth comes into being when your mind and heart are purged of all sense of striving and you are no longer trying to become somebody. It is there when the mind is very quiet, listening timelessly to everything that is happening. You may listen to these words, but for happiness to be, you have to find out how to free the mind of all fear. As long as you are afraid of anyone or anything, there can be no happiness. There can be no happiness as long as you are afraid of your parents, your teachers, afraid of not passing examinations, afraid of not making progress, of not getting nearer to the master, nearer to truth, or of not being approved of, patted on the back. But if you are really not afraid of anything, then you will find when you wake up of a morning or when you are walking alone that suddenly a strange thing happens. Uninvited, unsolicited, unlooked for, that which may be called love, truth, happiness is suddenly there. That is why it is so important for you to be educated rightly while you are young. What we now call education is not education at all because nobody talks to you about all these things. Your teachers prepare you to pass examinations, but they do not talk to you about living, which is most important because very few know how to live. Most of us merely survive. We somehow drag along, and therefore life becomes a dreadful thing. Really, to live requires a great deal of love, a great feeling for silence, a great simplicity with an abundance of experience. It requires a mind that is capable of thinking very clearly, that is not bound by prejudice or superstition, by hope or fear. All this is life, and if you are not being educated to live, then education has no meaning. You may learn to be very tidy, very good manners, and you may pass all your examinations, but to give primary importance to these superficial things when the whole structure of society is crumbling is like cleaning and polishing your fingernails while the house is burning down. You see, nobody talks to you about all this, nobody goes into it with you. As you spend day after day studying certain subjects, mathematics, history, geography, so also you should spend a great deal of time talking about these deeper matters because this makes for richness of life.